On Divorce Court today. Did the Army change the man she fell in love with in high school? Alexandria says Brandon has been bossy with her and their children. Plus, he pawned her engagement ring. Brandon Mahone and Alexandria Brown have brought their dispute for Judge Lynn Toler to resolve. Testimony in divorce court before your vows starts now.
I'm here with Brandon Mahone and Alexandria Brown. The two of you have been together for some time, have 2 children together. You are here now considering whether or not you should get married. You brought me your marriage license, which I have, and you've given me permission to tear it up should I not think that this union is a good idea. You've also completed a compatibility test, and it made me gasp. And I will talk to you about that momentarily. But before we get into any of that, you've been together since what? You were 16? Or you were 16,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And you finally proposed.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you have it on film.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to see it before we get to complaining about one another. So let's see the proposal.
That's me. I was in basic training in the Army, Your Honor. Got on one knee. That was a special day of my life, too. And
We love a man in uniform, too. It looks good. I don't know what it is, but it's nice.
She ruined it, though, by taking that ring off.
How did she ruin it? By taking the ring off?
Your Honor, 3 months later, she took the ring off. She was accusing me of cheating or whatever. She had her doubts, Your Honor. So she took the ring off. It was collecting dust right in the closet. Just straight collecting. I picked the ring up, dust falling off it and everything. So I pawned it.
So you pawned it? If she wasn't going to wear it, what use is
to
it?
a guy. So, rather turn it to some money, Your Honor.
Why did you take the ring off?
Well, it was actually poking my kids. It was kind of sharp. I took it off to get it altered. And before I got a chance to put it back on, I look up and I found a receipt that, it was pawned. And I'm like, okay, where is my ring at? So I asked him, and he was like, I pawned it. He gave me this ugly face or whatever, when he guilty. So I said, where's my ring? And he pawned it, the ring.
Let me ask you this. You say there's no reason to take off a ring, and a wedding ring or an engagement ring. But my understanding is all of this is a function of trust issues that the two of you have with each other, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
She thought you were cheating. Why don't you tell me a little bit about her jealousy and the issues you have with her?
With her, she's very jealous, Your Honor. You know what? She's a club. She's addicted to the club. Like, she goes to the club 3-4 times a week, Your Honor.
No, that's
with
a lie.
single
Hang on.
friends. With single friends, single friends are ready to mingle. Why are you hanging with single friends? You have some friends that have husbands and stuff. Why don't you hang with them? And she goes to the club. The club lets out at 2, 3, and she don't get home till 4 or 5. As a matter of fact, one time, Your Honor, she didn't get home till 11 in the morning.
Mrs. Brown, are you down to the club, staying all hours? Hang on.
Well, that was the case. I did go out that night. My friend, she did not want to take me home. I don't know. She was drunk,
She didn't
hangover.
call, didn't text, didn't do nothing.
I texted him.
No.
And I called him.
No.
And I let him speak to her. And he still didn't believe me that I was over there. I came back in at 11, and then him and his little friend be over there all the time on the couch. And, they was over there, and he had a little input of what to say.
About what's going on. Let me ask you, Ms. Brown, how often do you go to the club?
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Mr. Mahone?
I go to the club probably once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah.
Probably once a week. So that means at least twice a week, right? Because no one says probably once when it's really once.
Yeah.
They try to give a little wiggle room there. So you go a couple times a week, right? Okay.
Just want to go out and have fun.
Yeah, but you see the same people in the same club. Ain't nothing but drunken, thirsty dudes in there that want to talk to you.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Mahone. What are you doing while she's at the club? Are you just left at home?
I'll be at home, sleep.
No, he don't.
I'll be
He
on the
right
couch,
behind me,
sleep.
just like the other day he went to the club, and he came in at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was him, his friend, with his girlfriend. He was waiting on her to get the key. And he said that she was at Walmart until 6 o'clock in the morning. He told his friend she lying because she didn't come back with no bags. So I'm like, okay, so what was you doing?
I was on the phone with her, though. It ain't like I didn't call her or text her, let her know what was going on.
Let me ask you this. Do you drink when you go to the club?
Mm-hmm.
Do you drink when you go to the club?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you guys drink a little too much? Are you drunk every time you come home from the club? Yeah. You got kids.
Yeah. I mean, I can retain myself, yeah.
You're inebriated, but you're stable.
Yeah.
You may lean, but you never fall.
Yeah.
Okay. It still impairs your reasoning and judgment, even if you can maintain, vertical. You got that part, right?
Yes,
and that your partying lifestyle must cease when you have not cease completely, but it has to be, as you say, contained in order to maintain a stable home for the little people. That's all I want to say about that. Okay. Now I want to go. You got a couple of issues. One about disciplining the children. You say that Mr. Mahone doesn't discipline them at all, and you're stuck doing all of it. Why don't you explain your concerns with respect to how he parents?
Well, in my household, when growing up, I got whoopings and not got beat, but got whoopings, and I did have an attitude when I was younger. It was worse than now, and my mom didn't play that. So we grew up in different households. He didn't get a whooping when he was younger. So I guess that's where it come from.
So you spank, and he doesn't like spanking.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't discipline either. Like, I tell him, if you don't discipline, both of them gonna run all over you.
When you say he doesn't discipline, he doesn't tell them to stop that. He doesn't put them on timeout. He doesn't direct them, anything like that. Doesn't make them do chores, that kind of thing.
Right.
Mr. Mahone, your response to that is?
Your Honor, I do discipline my kids. I take the game away from them, I do discipline them.
Do they listen when you talk, though?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah, they listen to me.
Dad says something, it happens.
When I raise that voice, they know what's going on. And see, I didn't grow up with a father figure in my household, so I didn't get whoopings and beat on. And, my mom, she would tell me what I had to do, and then take that TV out my room. That was my punishment.
Let me ask you this, Ms. Brown. When he speaks, do they listen?
Sometimes, like my daughter, no.
That's
she
because my
is
daughter
a mess.
is like her. Exactly like her. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
My daughter is her a spitting image. She already has the attitude down pat. She looks just like her and everything.
That's why I discipline her, because I don't want her to be like me. And
But
he,
you-
I-
but-
and
but
he-
she's
Wait a minute,
like
wait a
that
minute,
in
wait a
front
minute,
of
wait a
her,
minute.
though.
You discipline her because you don't want her to be like you.
Next, loud and crazy fights over everything from toothpaste cap to what's for dinner? Your mama warned you not to marry your mate. If she was right and divorce is your best option, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt. Real relationships in crisis. Divorce Court continues.
Now, Ms. Brown, what you said was deep. That you spank your child because you don't want her to be like you. Now, having said that, I'm gonna pull back into the compatibility test because it paints a picture of what you're afraid of and what he's afraid of. When I asked him what 5 things he didn't like about his intended, he wrote, attitude, 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 attitude. When I asked him what he wanted from his wife, he said, less attitude. If you would change one thing about your intended, what would it be? Her attitude. So, Mr. Mahone, give me some of the examples of her attitude.
Her attitude, okay, like, we'll wake up in the morning, Your Honor. I tell her, good morning. What's good about the morning? I'm like, Your Honor, we just woke up. What do you mean? I'm happy I'm alive. We in the store, Your Honor. She like, do you want the green beans or do you want the corn? The corn. Why do you want the corn? And storm off down the aisle. And we go to the same store, get the same food every week. and get mad, and she know what I like.
She
know
like
I'm gonna
to
pick
eat
the corn over
junk
the
all
green
day.
bean.
That's what he want me to pick out, junk.
Okay.
He don't like eating healthy.
He doesn't like to eat healthy. Okay. Now, how do you respond to his failure to eat appropriately? Is it a calm, hon, you ought to eat more vegetables, or are you going in on it?
Well, I try to make him eat healthy, but he like...
See, we're not talking about eating healthy. We're talking about the manner in which you deal with him. When you ask him to eat healthy, how is your attitude?
Well, I say, would you like some...
Mrs. Brown, you see, you tiptoeing around the landmine, and I got you to get you to step right on it, because you already told me that you're tough on your daughter because you don't want your daughter to be like you, because she's got too much attitude. So that means you have too much attitude. If you cannot address what you have, you can't fix it. Now let's talk about it. How loud and crazy do you get?
I don't get loud and crazy at all. Like certain things, like when he, when I go in the bathroom, he brushes his teeth. He leaves the top off the toothpaste. It's easy if you could just close the top. Like that burns me up.
I mean, but that's mine.
Now, what do you do that burns you up? So how is your response? How do you do that?
Well,
do you yell?
Yeah.
Do you holler? Do you curse?
No.
Do you throw stuff?
No.
You're not bleaching stuff or anything like that.
When he has, no. When he have temper tantrums, he, throw food aside the wall and all of that.
Give me an example of one of the worst attitudinal issues you've had with her.
With her having an attitude?
Yeah.
Well, I would say, I want to bring it back to my daughter, because I told my daughter to do something. All of a sudden, she said, oh. And it just
the daughter fell out.
The daughter, yeah, exactly. Look at that. I'm like, wait, is that Alex or is that my daughter? I'm like, whoa, I don't, so that's like her seeing her do that, she's going to do it to everybody else.
Let me explain this to you. There's always a question of nature versus nurture. And you might think that she has an attitude because she has your genetics. She might have an attitude because she's watching your attitude and she's repeating what she's seeing you do. It not be in her head, it might be through her eyes. You're teaching her to fall all out. That's just my thought. Just my thought on that matter. I understand, however, you are not blameless, Mr. Mahone. I understand you have an issue with respect to name calling, and I want to know what it is a grown man with 2 children is doing calling his wife names.
When divorce court before your vows continues, can this couple's declaration of love overcome the temper tantrums and name calling?
Alexandria and Brandon accuse each other of cheating. Do you think they'll be able to trust again? Call 1-800-282-1991 to vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers. Call now.
If you would like your case heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and join the conversation on Twitter at Divorce Court. Divorce Court continues.
Mrs. Brown, I'm gonna start by asking you about it. You complain that he calls you names all the time. What kind of names does he call you?
Like if the Parkers come on, he'd be like, Alex? Like he'll say I'm Nikki Parker.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm fat or whatever.
Well, you do favor a little bit. I don't know if it's an attitude thing. She's funny. she's not mean. Do you call her names, Mr. Mahone?
Your Honor, it only comes out when the disrespect comes. She disrespect me in front of my kids. How I'm gonna be a man in front of my son, and I'm looking like, I'm just getting talked to down. She don't listen to me or nothing. Right in front of my son, my daughter too. So I don't put my hands on females. I don't never do that. So I might hit a glass off the table or call her Kim Parker or something. But
a meaningful response to one crazy parent is not to have the other parent be crazy too. Do you know what I mean? If you are worried about the image that your children are seeing, don't worry about they don't think I'm strong enough. Worry about, do they see rational? Do they see calm? do they see a reasonable response to difficulty as opposed to an acceleration or exacerbation of difficulty? You with me on that one?
Yes, Sean.
So y'all been talking about each other like dogs out here. So I want you to give an opportunity to convince me that there's even a reason for you to get married, other than the fact that you have 2 children together. So I'm going to start with you, Mr. Mahone. I'm going to give you 90 seconds to sell me on the fact that Ms. Brown is the only woman for you. Go.
Well, I love her. You know, we've been together for a long time, over 10 years. I met her in high school, and since then, we've been attached through all the ups and downs. She had my back through everything. Like, if I get a flat tire on the side of the road, she'll be the first person. I'm actually one of the only people I can call. Always had my back. I'm, like, attached to her. I can't even sleep in the bed without her at night. When we do get into it, you know, I go to my mom's house or whatever when she want to kick me out or whatever, and by the next day, I'm calling her, either she calling me, because we attached. And I know I love her dearly, because I wouldn't have got on one knee if I did.
Well, a little weak. I mean, she shows up for you, you know what I mean? But I didn't hear anything about her, anything that you liked about her personality. But I'll let you have that one. And it's always tough to be the first one to go. So I gotta give you 10 extra points just for leading the ship here. Then, Ms. Brown, why don't you tell me why you love Mr. Mahone? You got 90 seconds to sell me on Mr. Wonderful over there. Go.
Well, I love him, and he's a great parent. He would be a great husband figure. He's cute, I guess, and he entertains with the kids a lot, and I like that about him. And he cooks dinner, and most men can't cook. I like how he cooks his chicken. and he a great father.
Y'all sad and pitiful. Just tired and woo! How long you been together?
About 12 years.
It shows.
Judge Lynn Toler's ruling next. Divorce Court. Judge Lynn Toler's ruling right now.
You guys act like an old married couple, so you might as well be an old married couple. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the wedding certificate. Having said that, can I give a little piece of advice with it? Ms. Brown, you got to dial back on that anger. Anger is a very able imposter. It's usually fear or frustration all dressed up to look like power, but that's all it is. You've got to address whatever you're upset about. You've got to calm it down. If everything is setting you off, then the entire world is in command of your day. You're the only person not in charge of what you do, because the toothpaste cap and the toy on the floor, all of them are directing how you feel, what you say, your blood pressure, your children's safety, calm, and stability is all being dictated by every little knick-knack thing in your house that happens that makes you crazy. Good Lord, do you want to give up that kind of power? So you have to address that like it's issue 1. Issue 1 is the rest of the world does not determine how I feel, and I am in control of who I am, and that anger is a failure. When you get mad, you lose, because the environment has hijacked your head, and you can't think anymore. So if you look at it like that and work it like that, it will be better for you. Quit calling your wife names. It's not cool. It's not good. It's 12-year-old behavior. You shouldn't do it. Both of you need to get out of the club, quit drinking, go home, and have a game plan for your family. Don't just live day to day. Know where you're headed. Know where you want to go. Because if you don't have a game plan, you don't know where you're going, you end up anywhere. And you don't want that to happen. So go ahead, get married. But try to kick up your game a little bit. That's all I'm going to ask of you. This matter is adjourned.
Brandon and Alexandria agree with the judge and are working to stop drinking, stop fighting, and stay away from the clubs. Post a comment or submit your case at divorcecourt.com or call toll-free 1-877-311-2222. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Divorce Court.